Hi everybody, this is Jamie from the Unlikely Homeschool, and today I just wanted to share one simple spelling tip for teaching your children real-world spelling words. Now we use a curriculum called All About Spelling, and it's put out by All About Learning. But this particular tip that I'm going to share with you today can apply no matter what spelling curriculum you prescribe to. I choose to use All About Spelling in my homeschool because, as in the words of my daughter, it teaches a child how to spell, not necessarily what to spell. In other words, most spelling curriculums will give a child a list of 20 words that they have to memorize and have mastered that week, and those words may or may not even apply to them, but they have to have them memorized. Whereas All About Spelling teaches a child the natural phonetical rules for spelling any word in the English language, and they spiral through them. Each rule progresses and adds on to the last one. And so in learning all those rules, a child should be able to spell any word they would like to in the English language by the end of the program. That being said, occasionally there are words, what I would consider real-world words, or some people call them high-frequency words, that a child comes upon in their writing that are simple words, words that they should be able to spell based on their age or their grade level. For instance, the other day, my second grader misspelled the word are, as in we are going to school. He should be able to spell that as a second grader, but because he hasn't learned the rule yet of why A-R-E spells are, he can't spell it. And yet, I want him to be able to spell the words that naturally come up in his everyday writing. I want him to have success and mastery at those words. And so, I use All About Spelling, but I also do a little real-world spelling. And this is how. As I am with my children through the week and we're working on writing projects, maybe it's creative writing, maybe it's I'm having them write some sentences for language, or they're working on a notebooking project for history or science. As I'm sitting there with them and I notice they spell a high-frequency word incorrectly, I make a note of that. I take out my well-planned day planner, and this is the planner that I prefer. I kind of look at it as my second brain. It's always with me, and so that's why I use this to record spelling words. If you don't have a well-planned day planner or any planner, you can certainly do this same philosophy only on a slip of paper and maybe tuck it into your spelling curriculum. Either way, I make a note of the word that they misspelled in my planner. And in a well-planned day planner, there's a little section that says weekly priorities, and it's in the top right corner. I kind of save that each week for spelling, and I write the word down that they misspelled. Now I color code my kids just to give me one less thing to have to think about. So each one of my kids in my planner is designated with a specific color, so I can just look quickly and know who I'm referring to based on the color. So if it was my second grader, I'd be writing it in green, and I'd write that word are, A-R-E, down on my list for him. I keep this running list throughout the week, and I continue to add real-world words down to it until I have about 3 or 4 words. Now I limit it to 3 or 4 words because 3 or 4 words is, in my opinion, a reasonable amount of words to master, in addition to the rules and the words they're working on in their regular curriculum. I want them to master 3 or 4 words well, and not just 10 or 12 words sort of well. So I limit it to 3 or 4 words. So throughout the week I keep a running list and I add 3 or 4 words that they've misspelled. And then when it comes time to their actual spelling practice each day, I go ahead and do the All About Spelling lesson that is scheduled for the day. And before we end spelling, we work on those 3 or 4 real-world words. And we continue to work on them throughout the week until they are mastered. And by the next week, then I'm looking for additional words to add to the list. I cross them off as they're mastered and add additional ones to work on. So that way, as my kids are writing in their everyday writing, they not only have the tools to spell subject-oriented words like hieroglyphics that maybe a second grader shouldn't be able to spell, but they also have mastered a certain level of high frequency words to be able to write and have success each day in their writing. I hope that helps you as you introduce real world spelling to your children. Now, I gave you 2 different resources in this video, so if you're watching from YouTube, I would encourage you to go to my blog, The Unlikely Homeschool, where I will be airing this video, and I'll be providing the links for All About Spelling if you're interested in learning more about that program, as well as the Well-Planned Day Planner if you're interested in getting one for yourself. I hope you'll join me for the rest of this post, where I'll be sharing some more thoughts on real-world spelling. Happy homeschooling!